Alright, this is a video for 3VT about the box plot. So I'm going to explain what it is. And basically it's a way to represent data, just like a histogram or a frequency table, but a box plot looks like this. It's a line here, and then above it, this is called a box plot. So it's made out of 5 lines, here, there, there, and there. And then between the middle 3 lines, they made this little box. I don't know why, it's just someone designed it that way. Now these lines, what they are, you can see that here. This is the lowest value that you have. This is Q1, right? This is the median. This is Q3, and this is the highest number. So if you have some data, like for example in the frequency table, you have to figure out what the median is, what Q1 is, what Q3 is, and the highest and the lowest number, which would be 0 and 10 here. And then you can draw a box plot above a number line. Now if you forgot what Q1 and Q3 are, then you have to go back in your book a little, because here there's an explanation. There's one mistake though in my book, I don't know what your book says. It says that the first quartile is the median of the first half. Well, that makes sense. And it says the third quartile is the median of the third half, which is wrong because it's the median of the second half, right? You can't really have a third half. So, yeah, I don't know what your book says, but this should have been second here. So these are Q1 and Q3, and Q2 is just the median, which you already know how to calculate, right? So I want to say something more about a box plot, and for that I'll just take a look at a random question. Here we have one. Well, this is actually an example. It says here, the results for maths and English are shown for 120 students in 3VWO. And here we see the box plot for English, and here we see the box plot for maths. Now what a box plot does, it cuts all the data in parts of 25%. So from here till there is 25% of all people. So in this case, there will be 30 students. So that means that 30 students had a mark between the 3 and the 5.5, which is pretty bad. Then 25% had a mark between 5.5 and a 6. Alright, so even though this part is smaller, it's still 25% of all students in this case. Here it's also 25%, and there it's also 25%. So in the box plot, it's always divided in parts of 25%, and then you can compare it something with another set of data like English, and then you can draw some conclusions for that. Right? Some conclusions here that you can make is that the spread amongst maths is a lot bigger. Right? The results differ way more because some people had a fail while others had like a 10 or close to a 10. And for English, everything was a lot closer together. So the bigger every individual part is, the bigger the spread. And that's what the box plot tells you. It tells you something about the spread of this data. Okay. So if you're making the exercises for today, if you're watching the video on this day, however, right, that is. So today you have to make a box plot for data. So here you just have some numbers. You have to make a box plot out of that. You have to do the same thing also for a frequency table. And you have to do the same thing for a stem and leaf diagram. Right, it says here, draw the box plot. Now for all of them, you have to take a look at the data, figure out what the median is, figure out what Q1 is, figure out what Q3 is, and the highest and the lowest value, and then you can make a box plot, which again looks like this. Here's also an explanation, see that? This is how you do all of that. So yeah, have fun, and I'll see you later.